RASC, that's right, or the tank. I asked for a fortnight, to be given a fortnight to get my house in order, as it were. And
what was happening in Europe right now?
oh yes, well, just before the war, the Prime Minister said we can regard ourselves as being at war because the Germans have attacked
Poland.
Poland.
This was Chamberlain.
That's Chamberlain, that's right. And it was on a Sunday, and the war was declared. So I came home.
Were you scared?
No. Oh yes, and before the war, I'd read Mein Kampf, and which he stated what he was going to do, and one was he was going to get rid of all the Jews and the what are they called? Gypsies. And I thought, well, this isn't on.
Tell me about Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, yeah, we went up to between Namur and with Brussels, Namur. I've missed one place out, but Namur is near enough.
This is after the Germans came through the National
we moved straight in on the 10th, the very day that they attacked Holland. We went straight up, and 48th day, we were just to the right of Brussels.
Was this before they came into France?
Oh yes, indeed. We went up beyond the Leopold Canal. We came back over there, and of course they're too good for us. I mean, they're too strong. I mean, it's metal that really counts, you know. If you've got the
guns
and planes, of course. We pulled back.
How many?
Then we were ordered to retire to Dunkirk with the lorries, and we left 56 jugs, containers of rum, 2 gallon each, there for the ruddy Germans. And I said, well, what are we going to do, staff? I said, well, we haven't got orders to destroy it, so leave it alone. So it's left. So we went back to Dunkirk, near Dunkirk, and all the drivers had orders to do what harm they could. Probably run the water out and leave the engine running till it seized up, that sort of thing. Then I went down to Dunkirk, to Radiums, which is off Dunkirk, and once again we were bombed, shelled, etc. We were there for 3 nights.
Paint a picture of what it was like on the beaches. Like how many people were there?
A lot. Greatly, they're in the different groups. A captain would say, well, right, come on, we're going there. They went into it was quite a shallow fall on from the sands, as it were. And then they put what they could onto a ship, motorboat, that sort of thing, and then fall back, you know, and we had
Did the tide ever come in?
Oh yes, yeah, but never up to it just went onto the sands. There's no wall or anything like that.
So we're about what, 300,000 people?
Yes, not that I saw, but all together.
All along the beaches?
On the beach, that's right.
And you had no cover at all?
Oh no. The thing was to get into a hole in the sands, you know, on the dunes, that is.
How come they only killed 50,000 then? I mean, I know it's a lot, but...
Well, we were bloody running so hard. That's why. And I remember an infantryman starting screaming. It wasn't with 9-0, and he was flattened.
What, hit or shot? Hit?
Shot because, you know, you just couldn't allow that sort of thing. I saw, I think it was a paddle boat that was hit, 3 bombs, and 2 of us, in due course, might have been the next morning, pulled a fellow that, from the sea. He was drowned. He'd been burnt. They had the hospital ships. When the hospitalized people went on first, obviously that was from the Dunkirk itself, from the harbour, and we pulled this fellow. He was half cooked and burnt, that sort of thing. Put him on the sands. I don't think we did anything with him at all, and we were machine gunned.
I mean, you must have been absolutely terrified.
Not really funny. No, frightened if you like, but not terrified. Quite definitely. And second day, third day, it must have been obviously. I said to a captain, my captain, I wasn't with my mob, as it were. I was on the sands, and I said, because I'd done a mile swimming. So I said, would it be all right if I go out and get that boat? It was a rowing boat of, it must have been about, hell. A dozen fellows.
And people were coming across from England with these boats?
Oh, indeed, yes. This carries through on that, really. I said yes, of course, Corporal, and I left I put my boots round my neck, left my rifle, and chiefly waded and waded and waded, and probably had to do about 50 yards, got onto this boat. By the time I got there, I was lucky to get home. Some other fellows had the common sense, to look after themselves. So I got an arrow,
A bear?
a rowing boat,
Oh,
a row,
paddle.
and I said, right, I'm having that bugger, and I shall never forget my wrists, because I pulled, and we went for...
Did people try and swim out, carry on trying to follow you out?
Oh no, it was part. In due course, we got onto a motorboat, and it was like lorries. They have a steel superstructure. This motorboat had a superstructure. That's right. And I went on this boat to the minesweeper, the leader. I shall never forget the name. And I got on there. I managed to find a spare rifle, somebody else's in other words, and we went over to Ramsgate. But in passing, the leader. In due course, maybe a year or 2 later, went onto the Arctic run from America to the north of Russia, and all the bastards were drowned. They either bombed or probably torpedoed.
So how many boats came over then from England? Hundreds, thousands?
Probably about 50,000.
And they were just...
50,000, that's right, 50,000, that's right.
And they were just like ordinary citizens, a lot of them, or just ordinary people? They weren't all military boats or anything?
Oh, the boats? Oh, no. I mean, this... no, it was great. The Navy, the merchant Navy, and normal cities. They got a yacht or a motorboat, and they were all called into Ramsgate and Margate and probably Calais, and they all went on, set off to the beaches and took us home.
And they were being bombed too, I suppose.
Oh yes, indeed. I saw at least 3 ships, I'm talking about ships now, bombed. See, I was about maybe a mile, half a mile from Dunkirk. We were on Bray dunes, on the sands there, on the dunes. That's where we could be able to get down. And I fired at the the
Messerschmitt.
no, yeah, indeed. And I'd seen bombs starting from there, right over my head. But I can just transgress. In due course, we went. First of all, we went to Ramsgate. Then the next thing, the guards were on the leader before I was. So, and we were a shambles. There was a sergeant major there with the guards, and brought them onto the. They were even cleaning their shoes. That sort of thing. I told you, I pinched somebody else's rifle, and they were fine, you're the guards, that sort of thing, and they were marched off. I went off from Ramsgate. The next thing I knew, we were in Reading, and the Sally Army ordered some tea cakes and tea, that sort of thing. And the next thing I knew was that I went to just the other side of Sheffield, and then I was billeted there for a while, and then from there, after shall we say 6 months to a year, I was down in Devon, and I was a sergeant by this time, and I was billeted with an old lady of about 40, that sort of thing. She was old to me, that sort of thing. And I was writing, it was Sunday afternoon, lovely day, and this is the only time that I've been really sleeping. I was writing home, Sunday afternoon, so quiet, and the radio must have been on to a certain extent. Yes, it must have been on whilst I was probably listening to a tune, that sort of thing. Then subconsciously, I heard a plane going over, and then all of a sudden there's that I was waiting for, but I knew this was mine. I'd seen them, and no worries really, but I knew this has got the tone dead on. And I stood up, tensed every muscle that I had, and all and all it was, a ship was a plane was going over, and it had affected. It was giving. What do we call this? It's a word on the radio when it's making a funny noise. So anyway, it was a hissing.
Right, I know what you mean.
And it had affected the radio, and it just went over. But then, yes.
And it flashed back to.
Always. Well, yes, I knew. As I said, I'd seen them drop. I knew what the noise was, etc. And of course, it was dead over me. So it's making me.
And how old were you this time?
22. And in due course.
So you were 21, or you were in Dunkirk 20?
I was 22 on the 10th of April, and a month later exactly, we went into Dunkirk. I was 22 in a month.